Am I going? Okay. So today, so hello, I'm Alyssa. I'm gonna start off with my secondary resources, and well, before I came to this class, I didn't really know how to look for my resources. I would just Google the topic obviously in Google, and I would just choose like whatever came up, and I would be like, okay, I can use these. So, for example, my research question was, how do all trauma victims research self improvements? So I just Googled that, and all of these I more than likely would have used in my research paper without actually like doing a background check, being like if the author actually is like a psychologist or if they even have background or anything. So I would just use that. And now, Bonnie, you introduced me to a wonderful idea of crap sheets. It actually helped me a lot. Every website I had, I would literally put it through all of these, and if it didn't pass, then I wouldn't use it. And I realized that I can actually use books. So obviously, I used 3 books and a website. So these 3 books, I made sure they went through each of these. So since my research question was about trauma, I got trauma books because they were very very informative. I don't know much about trauma, and I wanted to know more. And these books had so much information for me. Even though I just used certain chapters, these really do help me. Like all of them, all of the authors were credible. Like they were psychologists. They've done so much research in the past, or they are psychologist doctors now. And then on the website, the person is she is a psychologist too, and she just talked about how like the effects afterwards in the books. We're talking about literally everything, like what trauma is, how it works at the end, like some of the help that they can get. So using these crap sheets, I got good credible resources for my essay to back up my answer, or back up the question that the answer that I'm gonna answer for the question. So so that helped me, and these crowd sheets are for sure gonna help me in the future when I actually need to do more research papers. But because now I can just put, okay, this website or this book or this article can help me with this, and it'll be like, okay, so is the author credible or not? And I'll be like, okay, it is, so I can use these resources. And also, while I was looking for secondary resources, I learned about the library catalog. I had never actually known what it was. My teacher didn't talk about it for 1301, English 1301. She didn't even tell me about it, but she just told us, like, you just need four sources and you're good. So I never looked at the library catalog. Even though I didn't use something from there, it did help me research the things I do need. Like, I did have an article, but the thing is, some of them were too old for my research questions, so I never really used them. But I know where to go now when it comes to the library catalog. And in the future, obviously, all this is really going to help me out, considering I'm a freshman now and I know I have a long way to go. So it's going to help me with all my resources. And I know my resources are going to be credible for my question. And the second thing is the research process. I'm not really good when it comes to writing research papers. English is not my strongest subject. So before, I would just try to write what I thought was right. So this is my essay from last semester. And like this question has nothing to do with like actually like the research question that I do now is totally different than what I did last semester. So this is just Christianity of fake literature. So I just got whichever had information. I literally didn't even look through, like, going back to the resources. I just got what I thought was right, and I wrote what I thought was right. So I just put a lot of examples, and I just even my essay was all over the place. to me, I thought it was all over the place. I didn't even know how to approach it or anything. In here, I learned, I obviously learned how to get my resources, my secondary, I mean, I learned how to get, yeah, my secondary resources, and I learned how to answer, like, the beginning. Like, you helped us a lot with the beginning, um, intro, like the intro. You gave us many ways how to write it, how to approach it. So I came up with, just a statement. And then I went into what it is, what trauma is, and then I ended it with, my research question. And from there I went with statistics, and then I went with my secondary sources and stuff. This is my first draft. And then when I did it again, I made a second draft, and this one has more information. This one has better. I have my visual. I'm learning, like, here I learned, like, the visual really does help a lot in your um answering your question and with your primary research, because I had trouble with that, and I think a lot of people did too. So the visual helped me, like, break down each question that I had. And also talking about my research questions, I I had never been pushed to come up with a question, like a research question that I actually have to go out and write, like, get my own research. I have never done an interview. I'm just so used to using my secondary sources to answer the question. So here in this class, you encouraged us to do our interviews. So it was really hard for me to even come up with questions. Like, I knew my question, like my research question, but I could not think of any answers or, like, ways to, like, questions to answer my own question, if that makes sense. So you did help me. You did tell me, like, what kind of path I needed to go on. So these are some of the questions I use, and you really helped me come up with them. And I believe these do really help me answer my own question, because it talks about, like, how the person felt, what the person did after the trauma happened, what they did afterwards, like if they went and got help from a therapist or they just stayed home and talked to their family, because some people do that, stay with their family. And so this class really helped push that. Like, it was so different, but it really helped me, and this will help me a lot in the future, because now I'm exposed to it. So when I do a research paper that includes, like, me doing an interview or me doing my own research, I know how to approach it, and I would know, like, if even if I do a survey or just analyzing a document, I know what things to look for and what things to ask for, because it corresponds to my question. So that really helped me. And then this class, I learned to really work with a group. Last semester I didn't really, or before either, I would not really work with a group. Yeah, I had my friends and they would help me, but in your class you really encouraged, like, a group, and with that group you help each other, and that was good for me, considering, like I said before, English is not my best subject. I'm really bad. Like, when it comes to readings, I don't know, like, I can't break things down. I'm more of, like, math. And in this class we did do a couple of readings, and it was good because we all had, like, our own strengths, and we all came together as a group and helped each other grow in our learning. And not only that, like, when we finished our essays, you made us write, like, our own comments, or, like, if we had any comments about our um our essays, like, if we needed help. So I would, like, it encouraged a lot of people to help our peers, to help us, because before, for peer review, when I would do this last semester, my teacher would literally just make us give our papers to someone random and they would just go over it. But the majority of it last year was just like grammar, like, oh, you didn't capitalize this, or you need to change this and this and this. And here in your class, you made us write what we want. So in my case, like for my, this is my, oh, this is my primary research. I had asked people from our class that they can help me with my primary research, and I was very specific. You helped me create the question because it was still hard for me to like come up with something. So I knew right off the bat I needed help in my primary research, so you helped me come up with a question and ask them what I actually really needed. So it was like feedback or ways to like, if they can write a paragraph for me to like, I guess to follow, or people to help me, or help for them to help me develop my own answer, and that they can look over my sentence or my paragraph so they can just try to make it better, make it pop out more, make it more a stronger paragraph. So that really just that really helped me a lot, considering I mean everyone has their own opinions in our class, and everyone has their own way of writing, and it really helped me to develop my own writing, getting other people's um opinions to help my own writing, and I really did grow in my writing. Like I believe my writing is a little bit stronger now, considering all the things we did all semester with secondary sources, with my own research process, with even getting help from people in my class that I probably wouldn't even be talking to if it wasn't for you. So that's that's me, but I honestly believe I'm good. Like I'm a better writer because of this class. It really helped me. It's really going to help me in the future when I write research papers or if I have to write an essay in general, because now I know like to break things down, and if I ever need help from peers, plus I can ask for it specifically. And for if I need a research paper, well, I know how to look for secondary sources. And if I need my own primary research, I know how to approach that as well and make my own questions, or if not, do my own or analyze my own documents. So this class really helped me. It was very informative, and I know I'm a better writer. So thank you.